Nazlioglu, CMO and Partner at Insider, and Insider is a single platform for personalized customer experiences backed by AI. And it's so nice to be back on the stage after 5 years and to see some familiar faces and to see people to learn from, because I love the SaaStock community. It's so intimate, and it's a place where I learn a lot from everyone. And today we're talking about a controversial topic, generative AI, and we're all trying to figure it out. So I'm going to be trying to talk about the implications for SaaS business and SaaS founders and leaders, which is all of us in the room. So generative AI is actually nothing new. It is AI, and it's been there for a while, maybe in the black box somewhere, but it's something that we're familiar with. What the hype is all about is the democratization of AI, because it's really penetrating into every area of business, to marketing, to product development, to sales. And today we're going to kind of talk about those, because the productivity gains are huge, but there are also risks that we all need to be aware of. So who thinks more than 50% of their employees will be using Gen AI at work by the end of 2024? Let's see the hands. Higher, please. There's a lot of lights here. Okay, that's a lot of you. So it's actually something that is really significant, because they did a survey already at Forrester, and they saw that 41% of the respondents actually said 50% of more their employees are going to be using Gen AI. So we really need to be aware of the risks and implications for our businesses, for our products, so that we don't end up with public relations spooky stories. And who's in the process of planning or already integrating Gen AI to their product, to their software right now? Much less. Yes, you guys are maybe productivity dreamers or risk-averse players, but everyone is considering it. So that brings us to curveball number 1. Basically, if you remember bring your own device and how it's kind of trickled into the employee contracts and how we had policies around it, it was much easier to control it. But bring your own AI is a new era, and it's coming with its own difficulties. Basically, CIOs weren't really responsible for AI in businesses before, but now it's about employee experience. And because it's like that, CIOs need to step in, and they need to create trainings and a culture around generative AI, and they need to prevent something called shadow AI. So let me define these to you before I go on. Bring your own AI is an employee using any form of AI at work, and regardless of whether it's sanctioned or not. And shadow AI is actually simply the unapproved usage of AI at business. And there are some risks, obviously: use of inaccurate data, legal and ethical biases. There are also, code leaks, customer data leaks that are in the play. And, there's a lot of concerns around it that we need to be aware of. So if you remember, when ChatGPT came out, after 3 or 4 months, we had 1 billion page views on this page. It's huge. Everyone started using this ChatGPT. Probably you're using it for emails. Probably your design team is using it. Probably your dev team is using it. And that's why they did a survey at Korn Ferry, and they found out that 46% of professionals are actually using it at work. 83% are planning to use it. And according to another research by Gartner, 68% are using it without notifying their boss, and that may be you. So SaaS founders need to be aware of the regulatory and privacy challenges, and we need to bring your own AI policies into play and prevent shadow AI. And also, of course, create a culture around generative AI, which is not punitive. You cannot tell your employees, don't use ChatGPT like that. You need to make them understand the whys behind it and the implications for them as professionals to make them adopt it. Also, you need to understand the generative AI roadmaps of your vendors that are using right now, because how are they safeguarding your information? And also, these things are going to be in the employee contracts soon. So the CIO of Financial Review said they don't allow people to use ChatGPT for client usage, pending quality standards, and they're also going through the cybersecurity and legal implications of this. So these guys are the risk-averse players at the moment. So that brings us to curveball number 2. Productivity dreamers on one side and risk-averse players on the other side. How are we going to strike this balance? So Slack came out with this really nice kind of one-liner. They said, bringing the power of generative AI to help you work smarter, learn faster, and communicate better. How amazing. And they did a survey where 90% of companies said they're using AI and they're getting productivity gains from it, and 27% of companies are just using AI right now. So this is really amazing. This is an example for a sales rep. So what they did is they integrated this to their workflow. And what happens here is that Salesforce CRM, in this case, is actually saying there is a qualified lead. So GenAI then goes and pulls some nice personalized nuggets from Salesforce CRM, feeds it to ChatGPT, and then you have, boom, a ready-made mail for you, personalized to send to your prospect, and the sales reps can get a head start with their emails. Because we're always like saying, did you do your follow-ups, did you do your follow-ups? So this is giving them a huge productivity tool, and this is just one aspect how it's helping sales reps. On the other side, Samsung just banned the use of ChatGPT for their employees, because an engineer actually went in and put sensitive code into ChatGPT, and of course you can't retrieve it back or delete it from OpenAI servers. So basically, there was a code leak, and then they declared a memo, and they said, we're not allowing our employees to use ChatGPT anymore. So basically, we need to be aware of the implications for different departments. Let me start with product development and software engineering. This is at the heart of every business, every SaaS business. If they find the moonshot technologies, you go and disrupt the industry, you become a leader on G2 Gartner Forrester, and it's like the invention machine of the business. So what it can do, what GenAI can do, is it can automate repetitive tasks. It can give engineers a first code draft so that they can do pair coding, which really speeds it up. I have some stats for you. And it reduces the time spent on synthesizing large sets of data. And also, it can give you ideas about product improvements and a lot more. At the end of the day, it frees your software developers to do more creative work, and they are free to invent and innovate and help you disrupt the industry. So according to a survey, which is a really interesting report from McKinsey, please read it after, they say that the productivity gains can be 20 to 45% of the current annual spending of the function. It's huge. And another study actually showed that software developers using Microsoft's Copilot completed tasks 56% faster. What happened? You just doubled your software engineering team overnight. Sales teams, we just saw an example from Slack, and it can make sales teams much more efficient. It can make them data-driven and personalized. And if you look at this diagram from Forrester, salespeople are actually spending very little time engaging with prospects these days. They're doing like meeting preparations, presentation preparations, getting ready for RFPs, creating reports, proposals. It's a lot of manual work and a lot of like note-taking and emails. So basically, GenAI helps them with that. It reduces the manual work. It drives higher engagement. Remember the Slack example, personalized messaging. It helps them identify and qualify leads, because it can synthesize a lot of data and tell you, hey, go with lead A, go with lead B first. So sellers are consistently spending less time, less than 25% of their time directly engaging with buyers. And GenAI helps with that. It increases sales productivity by 3 to 5%. So, hence, increased sales success. Marketing teams, that's my team, are in a unique position to leverage the power of GenAI tools to create copy and imagery. You can right now, your design team can get on there and say, please put my founder on a unicorn and let him fly on the clouds. Generative AI can create that. So it can also create 1,000 personalized ads on scale. So everyone is starting to experiment with the use, and marketing teams are really in a unique position to use GenAI. But when you're doing content generation, and I'm sure everyone's writing perfect English these days, there's a little thing about you losing that authentic tone that you each have, because there are some disclaimers going on. There's a picture on the right. It says, ChatGPT did not write this. So now we're constantly trying to prove that ChatGPT did not write our content. And I'm proving to you guys that I am promising you that I didn't I didn't prepare this presentation with ChatGPT, but I use it for my research, obviously. We all are using it. So Oh yeah, so the other thing is it's going to reduce the reliance on agencies, right? We were maybe using content agencies. Maybe we were using other agency-like services for image creation. What's going to happen? They're going to go on decline because OpenAI is really going to democratize the usage, and everyone in the company is going to become a designer now. Not quite, but it's going to help us really get the productivity gains. So the third thing is for customer support teams, and it really improves the efficiency of customer support teams, and it increases the quality of service if it's used right. There are two aspects to this. One is the augmenting agent skills. So it's basically helping an agent pick up the phone or take on the chatbot and say, hey, I summarized all this with ChatGPT. Now I know where you're at with the communication cycle, and now I'm giving you some next steps, which is generated by ChatGPT. There's always, of course, a human element, but it can really help augment your customer support teams. And this is on the less popular side because the risks are bigger, but some companies are using chatbots, and this is a chatbot having a two-way conversation, and it's unstructured data, not structured data, and that's why there are some risks associated with it, but some companies are already using it. So GenAI can increase issue resolution by 14% every hour, and the productivity gains, again, like in software engineering, is about 30 to 45%, so it's massive. Of course, there are risks associated. These are the productivity gains, but I chose the top 3 risks for us to look at today because of the limited time. But please go on, read about the risks. There's tons of them, and it's probably different for everyone's business here. It's not the same. So the risk number 1 for me is over-reliance on AI. I think we will never rely on AI and delegate our brain and never use our human authenticity or gut feeling or intuition. We will use it. We have to, because when we're doing business decisions, we're never delegating our mind to a consultant or a team member or an expert, right? We are always using our gut feeling when we're going into a new market or when we're creating a new structure, a pricing model. There is always some element of intuition. So basically, and let me give you an example here, actually. Think about a sales rep. I don't know, I like sales reps today. And they have transcribed multiple calls with ChatGPT. And ChatGPT said, OK, Brian, let's prioritize call A over call B. But maybe in the morning something happened and they heard something about that account. Or maybe when you were having the call as a sales rep, you felt something about this person not being ready about buying your product. Those things cannot come from AI, and it has to come from you. So you cannot over-rely on AI, and you cannot delegate your brain. Data privacy is a second risk. I just show you what Samsung went through, so we need to be wary of those facts. There could be code leaks, there could be data leaks, there could be customer data leaks. So we need to put the right policies and practices and technologies in place to prevent those. And this could be a bigger problem for some of you if you're in like a chatbot or search business. And the third one is quality control. Don't expect AI to give perfect results immediately. It needs to, it can lead to misunderstandings. It can lead to very generic content by your content team using it or your marketing teams using it. It could make you lose your authentic voice. Or in product developments, in code generation, it might create wrong code. So there will be risks, but there will be also a co-pilot approach that AI is taking. So curveball number 3 is a bit of a controversial one. I don't know what you guys think, so catch me after the presentation if you have any views on this. So generative AI may slash your ACV. Actually, it may hurt us as SaaS businesses. Why? Because we are so used to disrupting the market with our awesome technologies, and then investors come, they like your technology, and they invest, and you have huge valuations. But it could be different in the future, because we are really democratizing tech creation right now. Copilot is being used by 20,000 developers in the world right now, and basically it is, the technologists and the developers are creating some of the solutions or functions that your technologies are able to do quite fast. So we might see our customers being less willing to pay high margins for our software. And that could really drop your ACV from 100K to a 10K overnight. And we need to be prepared. And agency-like services are on the decline, so we need to create tangible value for our customers. And since all the rest is being democratized, we need to really focus on invention and innovation, even though there are people imitating our technologies, even though there are individuals trying to imitate our technologies. We need to go faster, and we need to innovate faster, even maybe using generative AI to do this, or not, and create solid value for our customers. And that brings us to curveball number 4. So innovation does not equal generative AI. So we cannot just go on the bandwagon, jump on it, OK, we need to do generative AI, we need to integrate it to our software now. Not quite, because if you're not really adding value, and if you're not focusing on the actual work that you should be doing at your company, this could create problems. So you shouldn't over-rotate, or you shouldn't undervalue this technology at this stage, as we're all learning about it. So customers will become more Gen AI savvy. They will start using OpenAI solutions by OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google, and others. And they will come to you and say, boss, which generative AI features or technologies are we going to adopt? Do you have a roadmap for our tech stack? Or they can come and say, your customer might ask you, which generative AI features are you going to provide me in the next 6 months? You need to have answers, even if it's in your plan or not, with reasons. So basically, at Insider, we launched a capability that enables our users, marketers, to use a prompt to build an entire customer journey flow. And they can do that in 5 seconds now. Before, it took probably 45 minutes to do it. So here's an example from our tool. So basically, it says, can you please, I'm just waiting for the GIF to come to the beginning. Yeah, enter your prompt. Can you please create a journey for me to engage this segment with a goal of driving purchases? And then you click generate, and then it creates a personalized journey for you. So this made the users of Insider actually 30 times more productive. So this is one example from our company. I can't give you too many, because it's a very new technology, and we're also experimenting with it. So coming to innovation delusion. Maybe you guys remember this concept. Innovation delusion is something all SaaS founders have at some point in their lives. It's an obsession of pursuing the next big thing, the moonshot technology, to disrupt the market, but which actually distracts you from the work you might be really need to doing to stay competitive. So if you remember Microsoft Zoom, they were rushing to get into the media player market when iPod was released. And they failed, because they said we have differentiated features. Their differentiated features weren't really differentiated. They were late to market. Their music sharing differentiated feature was actually it came with a lot of restrictions. It felt more clunky to the users. It just didn't work, because they were rushing into the market without really being ready for the new generation of iPods. So they failed, and we don't want to do that. We want to understand this technology 360, and then we need to add value to our customers through our products. We cannot just do it just because our competitors are doing it, and we cannot just jump on the next big thing without thinking. And we shouldn't use Gen AI as a compass. We need to use it as a crutch. So it's, again, a co-pilot approach. It's not something we can just set it, and forget it. And that brings me to curveball number 5. From autopilot to copilot. Get ready for a plot twist in tech. How? Well, AI, actually, not even generative one. AI has been on autopilot for many years. It actually was in e-commerce recommendations. It was in maybe TikTok or YouTube or whatever. And it was in the black box, and we didn't realize it. It was mainstream for us. But now we're actually interacting with it, and we're prompting it. We're saying something. We're interacting with the AI, and it's responding to us in a human-like abilities and language abilities, which is disrupting the game. And most researchers say that it's difficult for AI and LMs to do the last 5 to 10 to 20% of the human decision-making. So that's why we need to use our own domain expertise and own mind and heart and what makes us human to make sure that we are making the right decisions, generating the right code, make sure we have the right blog that is SEO optimized, or whatever it might be. So new roles are emerging to increase productivity, including the use of generative AI. I was at UK for Ecom Expo a couple weeks ago with my team, and we saw a multinational conglomerate, a marketing manager from that. She was appointed to cut jobs, and she was appointed to become more, efficient with generative AI. So roles are emerging, new roles are emerging like this to create efficiencies, but that doesn't mean anyone's getting replaced. I think that's not, that's probably really far from our thinking, but it's something that we need to think of. So to close the presentation, Gen AI will be our companion. It will be our co-pilot. And we will be interacting with it and guiding the outcomes. So we need to supercharge the scale part, because that's what the humans can't do. And we need to prioritize the trainings, the privacy and security implications, and make sure we create a generative AI culture in our organizations to get our teams ready. So thank you so much. We have this Play-Doh in our hands, and let's see what we're going to do with it next. Who is going to play with this Play-Doh to make the most colorful technologies, to disrupt the industry, and to shape the future of SaaS together? Thank you so much. It was great to see you all. Please stay in touch and enjoy the rest of the conference.